The policy governance model, authored by John Carver, is for boards that want to make a difference by bringing owner accountable governance to their organizations. These 5 statements about a policy governance board lay a foundation for the board's approach to governing. They use some terms that may seem familiar, but I want to challenge you to think about them in a new way. The chain of command begins at the top, with owners, those to whom the board must answer. Rather than the traditional perspective of many boards of directors, the Policy Governance Board looks upward to its higher authority and views the board role as a step down from ownership rather than a step up from management. This means that it is not the board's role to help the CEO manage the organization. The CEO is the board's employee, its only connection to the organization, and through whom the board leads the organization. The board has its own role, which is to serve and answer to owners, not customers, and to lead the CEO. Owners are not the same as customers. The board cares very much about the organization's service to customers, but it assigns that responsibility to the CEO. The board's focus is on owner interests. Governance policies are few in number, so they should not be confused with operating policies written by the staff. Recognizing that the board is not always present to perform its leadership role, a policy governance board directs the CEO through written policy. This means that every board decision is a policy decision, and the board speaks only in writing. The board thus controls the organization not only when it meets, but between meetings as well. When a board puts all directions to the CEO in writing, it leaves no room for confusion about its expectations. Because the board is itself responsible for everything the organization does or fails to do, and because the CEO is the board's sole connection with the organization, the board defines the CEO role and assigns specific responsibilities for which the board will expect the CEO to answer. They consist of achieving what the board wants achieved and avoiding what the board wants avoided. In order to meet board expectations, the CEO must be empowered and be given freedom to act on that responsibility. This requires that the board delegate authority. Such authority is not blanket authority, but is explicitly defined. A policy governance board documents its delegation of authority in board CEO relationship policies. 2 additional points. First, the most important question in judging CEO decisions is, has the CEO reasonably interpreted our words as written in policy? And second, the CEO is free to make decisions on matters about which the board has not already spoken. Finally, the Policy Governance Board fulfills its obligation to owners when it holds the CEO accountable for mission accomplishment within parameters documented in policy. The monitoring routine consists of setting policy, allowing staff to execute with the knowledge that the board will monitor performance. One policy at a time, the board collects or receives data that enables it to make judgments about performance as to results and compliance. The board then documents its judgments in writing. Further information about these concepts and the 10 principles of policy governance are provided in greater depth at www.policy.governance101.com or YouTube channel governance101.com or email at admin@governance101.com.